All right,
Just doing a little ASMR. Enjoying my coffee. Hold on. We ready?
Out for the
coming in hot with the visual aids this week. We'll see how it goes. The one visual aid. Because there's no more visual aids coming.
This is next time. My thought to have a whiteboard in here was not this. This was not my vision. My vision was to put a whiteboard over there.
All right. We'll
strictly
work on it.
for our reference.
Okay, I might have to get another. I'm using currently.
No. I'm going to hang one up on the wall.
On the other side of this is my daughter's spelling words for this week, so it's serving a dual purpose.
The whiteboard was so I remembered people's names, not so that they could see this ofrenda picture of a woman who is deeply disturbed. Deeply.
Yes, I mean, we will get into it. Let's just get into it.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another fun-filled fiesta, finding interesting things to do in pop culture and television all around, mostly harmless, with Matt and Sarah. I'm Matt.
I'm Sarah.
And together we're Mara.
Smat.
Smat.
Matt this week has been taken to calling everybody his brother or sister in Christ.
My brother in Christ.
Yes. So that's been a new happening.
It is.
Yes.
It is. I'm pulling up the reason for today's video. Our user, like we're a media. Our user feedback. No, our listener reaching out through our website.
Yes, which thank you so much.
Tracy, this would be, I believe Tracy was the last one we had as well.
Oh, thank you, Tracy.
Trace, you're a real one.
Yes.
Appreciate you. Can I call you Trace? I'm calling you Trace. Because you can't, you don't know. I don't know what you're saying over
What if
there.
she's like, oh my God, I hate
It's very
called
possible.
Trace.
It's very possible.
Like, my bully in high school called me Trace, and I just fucking hate that
Super
shit.
weird that your bully in high school called you Trace.
No, but what if it triggers a bad memory?
Oh, well, she has her opportunity to speak.
How dare you?
She has her opportunity to speak.
How dare you?
She has her opportunity to speak right now, and she's not saying anything.
I'm defending you, Tracy.
Whatevs, Trace. Anyways, from Tracy. Hi, love your content on Mostly Harmless and Reality Squad. With Love is Blind ending and Sister Wives on hiatus, it's time for a new topic. I would love to hear your thoughts on Octomom. There's a docu-series on Lifetime. If you can, check it out and tell us what you think. Well, we can, we did, and we will tell you what we think. And I have thoughts.
I have thoughts.
Sarah, you come in with the facts, and I'll come in with the sizzle.
Give him that old razzle dazzle.
Hit him with the old shake and bake, baby.
Well, first of all, the series on Lifetime is called Confessions of Octomom. And what's wild about this story,
One of the many things that are wild.
yeah, there's layers of wildness to this story, but I think the most wild thing to me is that TLC did not pick up Octomom for a reality show.
I think, honestly, on that one...
Was it the porn?
No.
Was it the porn?
I think it was... It started when TLC was the Learning Channel, I believe. And they weren't doing these kinds of reality shows.
No, but we learn... Okay, so... Usually our episodes come out on Tuesdays. We usually record either Sunday or Monday night.
We've been busy.
We've been crazy busy. But we noticed last night when we were going to record that there was going to be another installment of Confessions of Octomom. So we decided to push our recording off a day so that we could catch the 4th episode. I don't know how many episodes there are.
Let's go with that.
But I'm certainly glad we caught the 4th episode because we got a lot of pertinent information, a lot of questions answered that I had. For example, like, how does a single mom of 6 pay
With
for
no job.
IVF? But so we have what she claims. Do I believe her? No.
I do not believe her. I call bullshit.
Yeah, but we learn that I remember she had the octuplets during the height of John and Kate plus 8 fame. So TLC was doing shows like
you got
this.
me.
The Duggars were already on TLC. So I am honestly kind of surprised that they didn't tap Octomom because she was doing every media thing she could.
Well, maybe
she could
maybe
in
that's
order
the
to
reason.
pay the bills.
Or maybe it's that they didn't offer enough money. This woman may seem like she is in dire financial straits and she's just doing everything for her family and all I want is for my kids, blah, 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 bullshit. It's all about money. My opinion on this is this current docu-series on Lifetime is a cash grab of epic proportions. And she's playing it off like it's finally time for me to tell my story. Well, she's been telling her fucking story for 10 plus years.
Well, she hasn't really, though, because the octuplets are turning 16, or they're 16 now. They were born in 2009, and she's from Orange County. I went to Cal State Fullerton. Brea Mall is shouted out in this docu-series or reality show. I don't know what to call it, but I worked at the CPK at the Brea Mall when I was in college. I was a host.
Tell me more.
Anyways, I saw Octomom, Nadia Suleman, at a movie theater right after the octuplets were born. And you know what's interesting is in the first episode, first couple episodes, they talk a lot about her like social anxiety. And honestly, I feel like just being someone that has OCD, I feel like she has some form of OCD if she is going out in public fully covered the way she is.
Mental issues, I will say she has.
But yeah, she for sure has some untreated form of mental illness. And when you consider the cost of IVF, how far that would go in getting her inpatient treatment for some extensive mental health help, it would go a long way for the amount of money she has spent on IVF.
Let's take a break here and talk for a minute. I would never shame a woman, single or otherwise, who decides they want to have a kid, to go out, do that.
Sure.
Go for it. Go nuts. Everyone should be able to do what they want to do in that respect.
I personally believe that God helps those who help themselves.
Sure.
He gave us modern medicine.
Yep.
Where there's a will, there's a way. I am totally for IVF and finding alternative and best routes for anyone who wants to become a parent to become a parent.
But let's stop at the fact that she already had 6 fucking kids.
There's so many layers to this story.
Let's just go into it. She's a woman with no income. She does not have a job. She has 6 kids, and her whole thing, the nonsense. The doctor that allowed this to happen, or that caused this to happen,
Kamrava
is
something
ridiculous. If you have 6 kids and you are this is where I will say there's got to be a limit. Especially if you're like, you already are struggling financially. So I just wanted 1 more kid, and I ended up with 8 more kids.
Well, so we'll touch on that, like the whole how she came to be pregnant with 8, because that's a fucked up story that I don't feel like is entirely her fault. And what the doctor's culpability is in it. They seem to really be pinning it all on the doctor because she was sedated. They make a big point of saying she was sedated. They make a big point of saying that he told her that all of the previous embryos had passed. I don't know.
You say they in this.
Well,
this
the medical office
documentary. This is not like someone going out deciding, oh, I'm going to make a documentary about Octomom. Let's do it. No, this is her calling people together to tell her story. This is her spinning things the way that she wants. She is being put in this documentary in the most vulnerable, favorable light. Like, oh, everything just happens to me. Oh, I can't believe this. I just want my privacy. And then 5 seconds later, and I just want my privacy is, I was just going on every show, and then it just is anyone who would pay me. She even goes, I would just, if someone was paying me, I'd just do it.
Well, to play devil's advocate, what are you gonna do?
Not have additional children.
As a parent of
for
8.
one.
Well, okay, but you're in the circumstance. You're pregnant with 8, or your partner is pregnant with 8 babies. What are you gonna? John and Kate did a reality show.
I am
like that. The Duggars did a reality show. These people having mega super families,
right? And I'm convinced
they're doing reality shows.
I am convinced she had additional children to get a reality show.
I don't know actually with her, because she does seem very averse to, like, I don't know, because she didn't do a reality show. We could have been watching her family grow up this whole time.
I don't think she was offered a reality show, because she is, and probably the same reason TLC didn't do anything with her is because this woman is erratic. And the way that and then, I'm sorry, I have extreme social anxiety. So when I'm out, I cover myself in a beekeeper's outfit, and I don't want people to talk to me. No, let's talk about how if you really don't want to get noticed, you hide in plain sight. If you want paparazzi to follow you around and see you and get your pictures, you dress up like a fucking moron and wear a beekeeper's outfit.
I was going to say, when she dressed up more in, like,
she had like a burqa on at the gym.
Right. When she was dressed up in a burqa, I felt like that was less conspicuous than when she was in, like, that beekeeper outfit. Like, of course, if you were going out looking like you're wearing a safari ensemble, fully masked, like covering your face, people are going to look at you.
She's like, oh yeah, no, people take one look at my outfit and they'll just look away. I'm like, no one's looking away from your outfit. Like, and
plus, if you're dressed like that and you have 8 kids in tow that are all the same age, it's like, oh, what? I wonder, there's a story there.
And it just seems, this whole documentary, we're at 4 episodes of it, just seems like, oh, woe is me. I find it very disingenuous. That's just my opinion on it.
Let's talk some nuts and bolts. How does a woman, I think the documentary said she was 33 when she had the octuplets. So how does a woman in her
she's
20s,
49 then, if
she's mid-20s to early 30s, come to, first of all, get a dude to just be a sperm donor? I don't know. But so I have questions about that guy, the sperm donor guy. We don't.
Well, the documentary didn't even.
I guess we don't know at this time how many of the kids he's the biological father.
They were showing 3 sets of feet in the documentary because these people don't.
Man 1, man 2.
They probably
man
weren't
3.
even the real people. They were probably just people that sat in to make the drama. Well, but they showed like, oh, I helped, or I gave a sample, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but who knows if they're all my kids? It's like, I don't know. It just blows my mind that anyone would participate in this willingly. I don't have a problem with sperm donation. Not that anyone asks. Go for it. Go nuts.
What are your thoughts on sperm donation?
I think it's a great way to make some cash when you're in college, I suppose.
Sure.
But, I mean, it's, in my opinion, like, if you're donating sperm to someone you know, like, I don't know. It just seems like she, from the documentary's perspective, it just was like she's going out like to clubs to find sperm donors.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm sorry. That just sounds like a trashy girl's bad weekend, is going to clubs to find sperm donors. But like, so you're saying you go and you hook up with a dude at a club and then convince him to go donate a specimen, and then you give that to a doctor. IVF is so incredibly expensive that you could literally adopt children for the same amount or less. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I have no idea like how much all of that actually costs, but I do know that IVF is many thousands of dollars per round, and it's not always.
No, it's
the odds of it actually being successful is not 100%. It's not like you're 100% gonna get pregnant on this try. I don't know what the odds are, but I think it's less than 50.
Yes.
I don't know, but so she's doing she did at least. Well, okay, so she had a set of twins, and with her 6 kids, so she did at least 5 rounds. And then so she did at least 6 rounds of IVF. She says in the 4th episode that the way she paid for it was with savings, and she got some inheritance.
So where do you
took out a loan?
Where do you get savings from? She lives with her parents. She has no job, right?
Yeah.
So let me just. This is where I get frustrated, because again, don't come at me like I'm just a man telling a woman that she can't have kids. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when you're unemployed, living with your parents, and you fucking have 6 kids, that you are a psychopath if you go and decide you want to have more children.
There's clearly...
And you can't... It's like you're not able to fucking feed your family as it is.
Yeah. Well,
like, let's add another kid to the mix.
Well, and I think that if a psychologist or a therapist took a look at this situation,
I think they'd go running for the hills.
Well, I think there's a pretty obvious hole that she's trying to fill by having these kids, and she can't have kids naturally, but she does get pregnant awfully quickly via IVF. I don't know of anyone else that has, like you said, like that has had that many rounds of successful IVF.
And that many viable embryos to go through at once. It was the first time it had happened, right? The first time?
Yeah. The people that I know that have done IVF, that have done multiple rounds, they have like 1 or 2 kids.
Yeah.
And maybe they have a set of multiples. That does happen.
That's very common in IVF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you do transfer usually more than one to better your odds.
I don't even think it's a matter. I think from what I understand of knowing about it.
But they never transfer 12 at one time. I don't know what the max is. Someone who's more versed in IVF can say, because I'm sure that there's actually legally now you can only transfer so many at one time because they don't want another Octomom situation.
I can't trust what she says in this documentary.
That's the thing.
So at one point we're talking about financials, and she's sitting there being like, oh, I don't know. I mean, it was like something like 5,000 a month or something like 5,000 a week. 5,000 a week. And her lawyer / manager goes, it was 10,000. Like the guy who would fucking know how much money it was 10. And she's like, no, there's no way it was 10,000. Like, unless I was paying you such a huge cut. And then I'm just going to segue into this part right now. We come to find out this lawyer dude that she's talking to in this documentary was not getting paid. And
the lawyer
and the publicist.
And the publicist.
There was a lawyer and a publicist working for her, making her money, generating revenue, generating interest, and doing a shit ton of work. And we're finding out in this documentary that neither of them were getting paid. And the publicist didn't seem 100% okay with it, but he seemed like he had made his peace with it. The lawyer was just like, yeah, I just made I'd do this, and then when I looked at her, I'm like, well, she really needs the money, so I didn't take any.
Yeah,
and
but,
I'd be like, bullshit, because
yeah.
I have dealt with lawyers, and it's like, I get you need the money, but I also need my fee, and I'm sorry about that.
And when he said, "Oh, my wife wasn't so happy
Yeah.
about me going over and like fixing stuff at her house,"
I think she was unclogging the pipes for him, if you understand what I'm saying. Because I'm looking at this right now, and even that weird DJ from Power 106
Tattoo or whatever
is in this. All of these men are circling this woman to bend over backwards to help her. Oh, I'm just trying to help her and her family. I just want to get her family. Oh, she's doing so much for these kids. Great, that's very admirable. But you guys are spending man hours, hundreds of hours working for this woman, not getting paid, knowing you're not getting paid. I genuinely feel, allegedly, as I have to say, that they were getting paid in other terms of favors.
I mean, that has been alleged in the Casey Anthony trial, that came into play with how she paid for her lawyer. So, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that allegations like that.
It's funny. I saw a video that a couple made, and it was like, the old plumber is fixing the drain, and she's like overly like, oh, are my pipes clogged? And he's just like, oh yeah, they were pretty clogged, but in order to unclog, just do this. And every sexual innuendo she has, he just comes back with, yeah. And then like she like leaned over, and he goes, yeah, everything's okay, but like, you should see a chiropractor. That back looks like it's got a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no one's doing this shit for free, and I'm sorry, it just doesn't happen. Especially, you're a lawyer. You're not some schmo off the street. I don't fucking know Tattoo from anyone, but like, he's a prominent DJ at one point in LA, and he's just doing weird sex videos with this woman to generate money for her. He goes,
the dressing up like a baby to have her whip him was so strange.
This dude
weird.
is like, and then I came up with the greatest idea. I said, I'm going to dress up like a baby, and we're going to make a little fake porno video. And meanwhile, I'm like, yeah, fake porno video. Sure. Fake. I'm like, and he starts doing all this stuff, and he goes, and I say to her, do you have any maternity panties and bras? You wash those, sign them, sell those shits. I was just getting her money. I was just coming up with all the ideas to get this girl all the money in the world. I had nothing else this dude had nothing else going on besides coming up with ideas. And then she goes on Oprah and gets a manager, and he goes, so then I call her one day, and I get an answer from the manager, and the manager's just like, oh, your Tattoo? We're not talking to you anymore. And it's like, wow, so she is done with you, which I'm sure she was done with the lawyer. The publicist said as much as the same thing.
Yeah.
After working for like 6 months, and he was sitting there being like, hey, about my money. And apparently her dad flat out said at the beginning of this, which is where I would have cut ties, right at the beginning, if you're going to make her money, but if you want money, you're going to have to make it somewhere else. You're not taking any money out of her money like a manager would, like a percentage as a manager would.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'd be like, well, go fuck yourself. I'm going to go do something that generates revenue for me. Because I'm sorry, if I'm helping you and your family, that's nice of me to do. I would do that for anyone if I was in a position to help them. But there has to be give and take. And it is about money. Yes, I just made, he's talking like making tens of thousands of dollars. He goes, I made her, after $450,000, I stopped counting money, and there was that many checks. And apparently he didn't get a dime of that money. And it's like, I'm sorry, I'm making you that money. I'm not getting any of that money. I have shit that I have to pay for. I'm sorry, how am I less in need? Now you have 500 grand plus, the number stopped after that. And I'm just been wasting all this time probably, getting one every once in a while and being happy about it. I've never considered sex a proper payment for anything I've done. Just a little cherry on top of the sundae, I suppose.
No one's ever said, yes, that's an acceptable form of payment from you, Matt.
Yeah, no, the executive producers of The Bachelor were pretty clear that was fringe benefits. That was it.
They're like, Matt, no, we have to give you a paycheck. We have to give you a paycheck.
No. But it just blows my mind that these people would work for free. No one works for free. The most selfless people on earth are still getting a living wage to continue existing. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, no one's doing this like that.
Yeah, there was aspects of this story that did make me genuinely feel sympathy for her. For me, I recognize a lot of OCD characteristics. Game recognized game. Yeah. So I don't know if she's been diagnosed, but as someone who has been diagnosed and I struggle every day, the way that she deals with her social anxiety really screams obsessive compulsive to me. But again, I'm not a mental health professional and I don't know what she's been diagnosed with. So I have no idea.
Professional either, but what screams that you may not have social anxiety, that you're saying you have social anxiety, is all the situations that you put yourself in voluntarily. Yeah. Like,
well, but so I do on the one hand, and this is why, so at different parts throughout these 4 episodes, I did feel sympathy for her because I do understand. I think that this happenstance of her becoming pregnant with 8 babies was kind of like a series of unfortunate events that she went in to have another baby, and she thought, I do believe that she thought that the transfer failed or whatever. I don't know if it happened exactly the way she claims it happened. We don't hear from the doctor, at least not yet in these first 4 episodes. So we don't have his side of the story. But according to the docuseries or the reality show, whatever we're calling it, they claimed that the first set of 6 eggs or embryos failed and they were flushed out by her body. Did she want to do another round of 6 since, I don't know, she was already in that late stage process of transfer? So, okay, might as well get the most bang for your buck. I don't know. Was that the theory? And under sedation, she said, sure, let's do it. And then, those actually didn't fail. So now I'm pregnant with 8 babies.
I'm skeptical.
Well, so I felt bad. And then and then you are faced with, how are you going to pay for 8 kids? And you already have 6. So now you have 14.
You were already worried about how you were going to pay for your 6 kids. So
obviously you're going to have to go outside of traditional channels to support your lifestyle. So I wouldn't begrudge someone or like the notoriety that comes along with the trying to support your family out of the circumstances that you find yourself in.
I get riding the wave. I get that. But what I'm saying is, stop pretending that it was just thrust upon you.
Yeah.
Like, I had nothing to do. Because everything she's saying in this is, I had nothing to do with any of this stuff. Like, and all of a sudden the money dried up and then someone offered me a porno and I was like, well, I guess I have to do a porno. And it's like,
and
just stop acting like you were just so like taken aback. Yeah. Everything that happened was not your fault whatsoever.
And there's other aspects of the story. So like right as I'm starting to feel bad for her, or I'm like, I get it. I maybe I don't get it.
That's how a good docuseries
but I can understand.
Be.
Then we get hit with some fuckery, some bullshit. So we find out early on that so you're pregnant with 8 babies. She has to go to the ER when she's like 20 something weeks pregnant, and she gets a maternal fetal medicine doctor, which I had when I was pregnant with Anson. I had to go see one because of my advanced maternal age and my high blood pressure. So
Sarah was a geriatric pregnancy.
I was a dinosaur pregnancy.
It was a nail biter for 9 months. What was coming out of her?
I mean, great. Oh my God. I mean, thankfully, it was a pretty uneventful pregnancy, but I did have to go for like weekly or every other. I don't know. I can't remember.
I think it was.
In the later stages, I was going every week. But so I went and saw a maternal fetal medicine doctor. Here's the thing. When you're pregnant, you don't lie to your doctor.
You should listen to your
Doctor. Yes. And not to quote Pitch Perfect, but my goodness. So the doctor that delivered the octuplets is interviewed, and he said that I don't know if she flat out said, but she heavily insinuated, like, when he went to congratulate her on her pregnancies, she didn't say, oh, I have like 6 kids at home.
Yeah.
And so when he was gobsmacked when he found out that she had 6 other kids, and this was gonna be her 14th, 8 through 4 or 7 through 14 kids.
Yeah.
So, okay, lying to your doctor, not a fan of that. What's up with the cost? How are you paying for it? I can't.
And then, she goes, it's like 2 years after, this is from her, because I'm very convinced that she was on government assistance from the beginning. But she goes, 2 years after the kids, all the money's running out and sponsorships are going away. And my mom's like, you have to get government assistance. She's like, I just can't in good conscience do that. I can't. I won't. I have to get off my high horse and figure it out.
Well, because if she did that, then the whole reason why she was like the most hated mom or whatever is because that's what people were assuming was going on. Like, people were assuming that she was paying for IVF out of her
SSI
government,
or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. And she said, no, I paid for it with this inheritance or whatever. So, okay, you didn't pay for it it wasn't taxpayer money she didn't pay for it with. The whole reason why people were up in arms when she had this many kids was because who's gonna pay for this many kids? We all know, lady, like, how much a pack of diapers costs. Multiply that by 8.
Plus caregivers.
Multiply that by,
They're in her house. She's got caregivers. She's got the kids.
We're talking, they broke down some of the costs. They were saying she had 3 nannies at one point that was cost $10,000 a month, which when she was saying that her monthly expenses were like 35 grand. If 30 grand of that is nannies, how is your rent, food, utilities?
She's not paying rent. She's living with her parents.
Well, all of that is under 5 grand? 5 grand and under?
Yeah, because I don't know what her parents did, but it's obvious that they had money that they were just funding this to a point. And again, then she goes and she says she does get government assistance after a couple years. And lo and behold, all of a sudden, now I owe money. And because spoiler alert, you can't be making 6 figures and receive government assistance at the same time. So she got a government stipend. She got something in the effect of $25,000 that she was paid while she was receiving a significant amount of money. You cannot have both of those things. Mm-hmm. I knew somebody who had filed for unemployment benefits longer than they should have. They were employed or something, whatever had happened, there was some overlap. And guess what? They got fucked hardcore and had to pay every dime of that back. And this woman, all of a sudden I owe $25,000. Oh, I'm just a silly lady. I don't know anything.
Only owed $25,000.
Well, this is what she's saying.
Yeah.
Who's doing her taxes? Like, who's like?
Not the publicist that's working for free.
All these people. Yeah. Who's she?
You need a tax account that can work for free.
Who's she blowing at H&R Block to get a free tax thing? Like, for real though. But honest to God, the first thing I would think about this is taxes. Great, you have that many dependent, it's unlikely you would have to be making the high 6 figures to owe taxes with that many dependents. You think about like 3,000, I'm overestimating, with like, let's say 2,000 for each kid. of a tax deduction plus your regular tax deduction.
Yeah.
So it would take a significant amount of income, which she was making, to get a tax burden upon her. And then you go ahead and get government benefits, and lo and behold, I just don't know what happened. And it's just that whole level of like this, again, the documentary series that we're watching just seems like I'm going to tell the truth, full of just my perspective of how things went.
And her perspective is clearly
shitty.
Well, is it based in reality? I don't know.
I don't think a person who's walked the cobblestones that she has walked can be steeped in any realm of reality. And then she's out with her kids, and she's like, they're showing her like at dinner with her daughter. She's at dinner with her daughter, and she goes, oh, let's get some wine. Let's get some wine. And her daughter's like, no, I'm good. And she's like, no, drink wine. You have to drink. Have some drinks. Drink the wine. I'm getting us wine. Get it. That was an uncut.
She seems emotionally stunted.
Yeah. And it's just like.
Her kids
seem fairly well adjusted for the nonsense.
Surprisingly well adjusted. Yeah.
But it's just like wild to me that, I mean, it's like, I wish I could have empathy for this woman, but I don't, because from everything I'm watching here and from what I'm getting from how she's composing herself and what these other people around her are saying, it's just so self-serving. And again, I'm sorry, you had 6 kids. You had to IVF an addition, even if you were just going for one, which I don't believe.
Then that would have made 7.
That would have made 7 kids.
What are you doing?
It's not, oh, now I just have 1 kid.
Yeah.
No, you still have 6 other fucking kids.
Yeah.
Like, so there's mental problems abound, I would say, on that. You're collecting children is what it feels like. And it wouldn't surprise me if she went, it didn't happen, but imagine if a couple years she's like, I just want to have 1 more kid. I just want to have 1 more. Like, just 1 more. Like, you have 6 kids. You live with your parents. You don't have a job. That is irresponsible.
Right.
You're not raising your children. And now you're doing I'm having children that are going to help me raise my children, maybe. Like that old, where the youngest or the oldest are raising the youngest.
That there was parentification going on with the oldest. I mean, because how could it not?
How could it
not be?
And she's too busy in her beekeeping outfits, and then she has this huge thing to talk about her tummy tucks and how she stays in shape, and she's like, yeah, I've been working out hardcore for the last few decades, is what she said in this one. And I'm like, the last few decades? That's not something.
Well, the way I took that is she always had like her health and fitness as, a
vanity is what
priority
it felt like
for herself. So that she was no stranger to working out and being athletic or whatever.
And she's swearing up and down she's never had any kind of plastic surgery. And I'm not one to judge. I don't fault people for getting plastic surgery. But if you're gonna do something, own up to it. Like she goes, oh, and everybody made fun of me because my lips, for the longest time, they were so huge. I went to the doctor. Another story of something that just happened to her. I went to the surgeon. I said I was just going to get a little in my top lip to match my bottom lip so that they'd go out a little bit. And the doctor had other things in mind. Here comes the drama. And when I got up, all of a sudden, my face was swollen. Oh, was it? Well, the doctor just went rogue on you. A medical doctor who's out there to do this on a regular basis just went rogue and gave you these things because he could.
I mean, I don't know about in 2008 or whenever she was getting lip filler, but nowadays you could go to a med spa and get lip filler.
I don't,
which is where I go to get my lip filler.
She said she went to a doctor. Yeah. I mean, hell, you could get Botox at one of the dental offices that we went to one time. It's just a thing. But again, oh, went for this little thing. I was going to treat myself to this. And then the worst happened. And it brought more attention
what was
to
funny
me.
to me is she's like, people think I had all this work done. And I really haven't. Oh, but, except for the lip filler and the boob job
and the tummy tuck.
And it's like, okay, so you have had work done.
Right.
Like, no shame.
And again,
I've had
shame.
all those things done too.
No shame. But it's the same shit. Like, it. Just own up to it. I don't know why, especially in today's vain ass society, it's okay. Every fat celebrity's skinny right now because they're on Ozempic. Great, good for you. Congratulations. The ones that still deny it and they are, it's like, okay, just be like look, I lost weight because I quit drinking. If I were on whatever they call those things, a GLP-1 or whatever, I would be, sure.
Actually, that's the funny thing about us because we've each lost 100 pounds.
Yep.
I paid to do it.
Yep. And I paid to do it.
You lost weight by association.
Yeah. But it's like, it's okay to say you got stuff done. I mean, at this point, in my opinion, if you're getting Botox or lip filler or whatever the fuck you want to get for plastic surgery, it's the same as getting a tattoo. Go for it. Go nuts. It's your body. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. But when people, it's a shitty thing if random people are coming around asking you if you got plastic surgery. Weird. But why are you embarrassed?
Well, I think in particular, the reason why that topic came up was for number one, there were physical characteristic similarities between her and Angelina Jolie. So people were saying that she was striving to look like Angelina Jolie. And so she was trying to dispel that rumor. And then the other thing was in the context of whatever deal she had with Radar Online at the time where she was getting paid weekly by them to give them outrageous sound bites and outrageous comments. In particular, they wanted her to comment on Kate Gosselin, who was also the mom of multiples. And it was in regards to finding out that Kate Gosselin she was in a bikini and had a flat stomach. And so her soundbite was she had her kids 5 years ago and she had a tummy tuck. So of course she's going to look, like that. I think people inquiring if these moms of mega batches of kids have had plastic surgeries because it would make sense because anyone who's given birth knows that your body is not the same. Well, and if we can extrapolate what our bodies went through with single births, what times that by 8 or times that by 6 with Kate Gosselin's case, then it's well, yeah, you had a tummy tuck, right?
Good for you. Yeah. Good, do it. Yeah. Do something for yourself. And I don't know. And then the cavalcade of D-list celebrities that they have in this thing. Perez Hilton. Perez Hilton.
He really narrates this whole, he's the gossip girl.
Perez Hilton who looks like Adam Pascal, in my opinion, a little bit in this one.
I disagree.
I see it, but as made famous by fingering Benji Bronk on the Howard Stern show, Perez Hilton. We have Adam Barta, who you don't know probably,
no.
who is listed as her ex-close friend or some shit like that, and he's just a star fucker because he's currently palling around with the Howard Stern show's tan mom, Patricia Marie, doing all kinds of bullshit nonsense with her, hosting podcasts. Just he finds these level of celebrities, gloms onto them, and then just becomes we're gonna do stuff and we're gonna make money together. That's the kind of person he is, and you can look him up on the Stern show and all that other stuff. And then fucking Tattoo, whoever that guy is, you know what I mean? I
think that guy was the most honest about
he didn't seem like he was
recantation of historical events. Yeah. I honestly, I trusted his recitation.
Well, especially
more than
after watching
anyone
a video
else's.
of him dressed as a baby being whipped in a dominatrix
He looked really
outfit.
different. He had a face tattoo at one point going across his forehead. He must have gotten that lasered off because I didn't see it in what he looks like now.
How you get a face tattoo?
I mean,
I might get a face tattoo.
yeah.
Little pizza pie. Right
Little
there.
pizza pie.
Little pizza pie. This whole thing just feels like it was designed to elicit sympathy, but it really was designed to write her another paycheck for her story. You know what I mean? Like, when was the last time anyone even thought or gave a shit about Octomom? Because I, first of all, never gave a shit about her in the first place. Not on a human level. I care about normal people, whatever. I don't care. But like, I've never been like, oh, I wonder what that woman with 1 million kids is up to, because it doesn't really make a metric in my day-to-day what these people are up to. And I don't think she's done shit in the last few years besides this. Like, when was the last time she had been in the public eye? She's probably missed getting paychecks and sponsorships and shit like that.
And just from the interviews with her kids, it seems like she clearly has untreated mental health issues that she has not dealt with.
Clearly.
That it would be of great benefit to her children if she did get treatment and help for that stuff. I mean, her youngest kids are 16. So, I mean, in a couple years, she's not going to have any minor children. But still, I mean, with how important family and especially kids seems to be to her,
let's stop talking.
You would hope that she would do some self-work in order to be a healthier parent for her kids, because she's the only parent that her kids have. And there were clearly moments that I gleaned where her kids were so clearly uncomfortable with the dynamic in their household. Part of that was not her mom's fault because of the paparazzi and all of that unwanted attention. But there was aspects of it that I feel like her mom could control and could change. She could work on not needing to go out in public.
She could work.
Fully clothed. She could work. But again, she requires such an extreme amount of money to support herself. I understand that she had to go these avenues of interviews and I guess adult entertainment. I honestly don't know why she didn't go the reality TV route, because that would have made more sense.
Well, and her son, though, let's talk about problems, right? Okay, you're in requirement of a enormous amount of money on a regular basis.
At least $40K.
Her son says anything we asked for, she would go out and buy it for us. Take us to the toy store. They knew us at Target. They knew us at Toys R Us. It's a dated reference for you kids out there. They knew us here. Anytime I'd ask for a Lego set, parents out there, we know how much fucking money those things cost.
Yeah.
I got it. I got everything. And her parents would be like, oh, maybe you shouldn't be spending that kind of money. So let's not act like you're not mom of the year because you buy your kids every fucking thing they want. You're actually making your life worse by spending enormous amounts of money on, and again, the people in this thing, they were like, it's not that you shouldn't buy your kids toys. You shouldn't buy your kids every fucking thing they ask for every time. The son said she would never say no to me or any of the kids when they ask for something. She'd go out and buy it. And then she wonders why she has no money. Do you know how a checkbook balances? Are you familiar with ins and outs? That. I'm sorry. And then again, woe is me. I have no money. Well, where'd your money go? You spend money like a fucking person who just won the lottery, and you're in debts. It's not debt like
house got foreclosed on. Yeah.
Do you know? And then she goes at one point, she said she needed $10,000 to tattoo. She said she needed $10,000 to save her house. Well, maybe if you didn't spend $7,000 on Lego sets and shit, like, you know what I mean? You're a parent, you have kids, especially young kids, you want to give them as much as you can. You're gonna have lean years. You're going to. If you're not wealthy and you're living right at your means, you're gonna have belt tightening years. And everyone who is a parent is gonna know that, where you have to cut back on your expenses so that your kids can thrive. It's giving them toys is not like giving them all the toys ever that they ask for is not love. It's placating them. It's maybe I give them a Lego set and that's, I feel better about myself now. Like, well that's wasting money.
And I'm just thinking to the episode of Sister Wives where Robin announces she's pregnant and none of the kids are excited about it because, like, for fuck's sake, like the last thing we need is some more mouths to feed. Like, that literally was what one of the kids said in their like little interview. So I'm sure that these kids are like, oh, money is tight, but mom always seems to like,
yes.
Well, or mom always finds a way to pull it out at the last second, so we always make ends meet. And oh, what does mom think I need? Oh, another sibling. Like, she's constantly going and bringing home another kid. Like,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyway.
And those kids, I wish them luck. But what I was going to say earlier was let's all stop this. I think everybody in their head has this thought process of when the kids are 18, that's the end of the responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not the case. If you're a good parent, you're around your kid their whole life.
Yeah.
And 18, those fuckers don't know shit about the world. What do you just kick them out of the nest and be like, oh, they'll figure it out?
I mean, I'm closing in on 40 and I still very much rely on my parents.
But it's she's not going to have any infants. She's not going to have any teenagers, but she's got kids who require assistance. Like, just having like, hey, I got to do my taxes, or, I'm applying for maybe a mortgage, or I'm going to medical school. What am I supposed to do? Like, well, I did my job. They're 18. I'm not saying that's really her outlook, but there's a lot of people who think, like, 18 years, 18 years,
Well, I meant that more so in that, like, she's not gonna go to jail for neglecting her kids beyond up until they're 18.
Yeah.
So after they're 18, the government certainly
don't
says,
give a fuck.
Right.
Government just wants their money at that point.
Yeah. What are your final thoughts?
No, I don't. I made it clear. I think that she is trying to elicit sympathy in a situation that is so very clear to me. And I may be wrong. Maybe I'm entirely wrong. It's happened before. Not often, but it's happened before where I've been wrong.
Once or twice.
Once or twice in these almost 40 years of mine. This docuseries is just a way for her to make another paycheck, to try to generate more interest, try to get it. You'll notice that none of these kids have gone off, as far as I've found, to try and capitalize on their pseudo fame. You know what I mean? Like, they've tried to live under the radar, because when they were kids, it was miserable for them.
Yeah.
And guess what?
And that's so sad.
Mom just needs it to happen. She needs to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, but I don't think she's craving the spotlight the way I feel like Cody Brown craves the spotlight.
No one craves the spotlight like Cody Brown.
Well, I really feel like she sees being in the public eye as a means to an end. Like, she needs money, and that is how she gets money. I do believe that. Or maybe I believe that as well. But so I think it's a little bit different than, like, the Duggars or the Browns who think, I'm going to show the world how to live better, or I live better.
I'm not comparing her to those people. I'm just saying she's super fucking disingenuous. This whole thing so far has been woe is me. And just say that it's a cash grab. Just admit that you're doing...
She did at some points. Say that she was doing X, Y, and Z.
No. But in her, she's now admitting that back in the day
Yeah.
she did shit for money. And 5 years, 10 years from now, when she does the docuseries about the docuseries, about the making of the docuseries, she's going to say, well, back then it really was a cash grab and the producers cut everything to make it sound like I was a crazy person. But here's this one. And then 10 years after that, we'll revisit that documentary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's let me back into the public life. I want to be back in the public light of your eyes. Let me all be seen so that I can just make some more money. I don't doubt she loves her kids. I doubt she has the capacity to understand how much damage she has done to her kids.
And that, I think, is a good summation because I hard agree with you there.
Hard agree.
Hard agree.
Well, that's all we got for today. Gonna wrap it up. Tracy, Tracello, Tracy Thew, thank you.
Tracy Thew.
Thank you very much for the submission. Anyone else wants to throw one out there? Head on over to the website, www.level42studios.com. Head on over to the contact page. You can now watch all the shows, all the episodes of our show, Mostly Harmless, Reality Squad, Sarah Spills, bunch of other stuff on the website are all hosted there. Feel free to peruse. Like I said, head to the contact page. Send us a line about something you like, something you don't like, something you want us to talk about. We're open. Got one a week. Do whatever you want. Got nothing on the docket right now. Find us at all the social medias. Do Mostly No Harm. And then check out Reality Squad coming up with a new video soon.
Yes. All right, you guys. As always,
Do Mostly
no harm. Bye.